Meet Fraser Doherty, the brains behind 48 Hours Startup. His entrepreneurial adventure kicked off in childhood, inspired by a neighboring farmer's small enterprises. Enthralled by the prospect of selling eggs, Fraser identified the simplicity in it: just feed the hens and sell the eggs. This spark birthed his first business idea, launching him into the exciting realm of entrepreneurship. As Einstein wisely noted, the mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. Sparked by his newfound idea, Fraser sprang into action. The very next day, with an innocent grin, he approached the farmer, asking for a few eggs for free. Generously, the farmer handed him some. Back home, Fraser improvised, placing them atop their TV, serving as a makeshift incubator for the old device with heating issues. To his astonishment, 4 of the eggs hatched, giving birth to tiny chicks. With unwavering dedication, Fraser nurtured these chicks, and before long, some of the hens started laying eggs themselves. Fraser grabbed the chance and began peddling the eggs to neighbors and pals. The first taste of profit sparked a thrilling thought in his mind: I'm on my way to riches. However, Doherty's poultry dreams hit a snag when a cunning fox tunneled under his fence, devouring his precious means of production. A heart-wrenching setback, but Fraser took it as a valuable lesson: business could bring in big bucks, albeit with its share of challenges. From that point onward, Fraser dove into a multitude of small business ventures, eventually catapulting himself into the millionaire club. Starting from scratch without a penny invested upfront, he banked on his ingenious ideas, relentless work ethic, and the ticking hands of time. Then came Doherty's lightbulb moment. As detailed in his book, a stroke of inspiration hit him while visiting his grandmother, who happened to be whipping up her signature jelly. Years of trial and error had perfected the recipe. Without hesitation, he dashed to the supermarket, shelling out around $2.50 for a couple of oranges and a bag of sugar. Back home, he swiftly crafted his debut batch of jelly, faithfully following his grandmother's recipe. Armed with freshly made jars, Doherty hit the streets once again, enticing neighbors with the warm delicacy. By the time the final jar was sold, he'd pocketed a gratifying $5. In the months that followed, Doherty's entrepreneurial spirit soared to new heights as he forged steady delivery agreements with the majority of his neighbors. At the zenith of his success, he personally churned out hundreds of jars each month, delighting numerous local families. The budding jelly mogul seemed to be riding a wave of triumph. Yet, as Doherty tapped out his immediate neighborhood, he set his sights on grander horizons. Crafting a special batch of his prized jam, he suited up in his father's attire for a polished touch, enlisting his mother as the chauffeur to a pivotal Meet the Buyer event hosted by a major supermarket chain. Admitting to a lack of presentation prowess, Doherty confessed, "I had no clue how to deliver a knockout pitch. I figured just describing my product would do the trick." Little did I know, securing a supermarket deal was a complex journey involving commercial considerations, pricing strategies, and the need for eye-catching labels. The road ahead turned out to be more challenging than I could have imagined. Rejected by the supermarket buyer, Doherty found a glimmer of hope when she tossed him a lifeline: fix the pricing, packaging, and production hurdles, and come back next year for a second shot. Determined to revolutionize his brand, Doherty set out on a mission to snag a factory willing to take a gamble on his revamped jelly. While many doors closed, one swung open for him. Teaming up with the factory, he fine-tuned production for larger scales, tweaked prices to match competitors, and roped in an advertising agency for a brand facelift. Out went the quaint labels, replaced by a sleek, minimalist design. A year later, armed with a legit product and a solid business plan, Doherty returned to the supermarket buyer. The improvements wowed him, and he greenlit Doherty's jelly for shelves across their stores. Reflecting on his journey, Doherty harbors no regrets about that initial pitch. In fact, he sees it as a wellspring of inspiration for budding entrepreneurs. In an interview with New Business, he urged others to go out and give things a shot, advocating fearlessness in trying new ventures and embracing the invaluable lessons that come with the ride. Securing a deal with the supermarket was a victory for Doherty, but the sweet success he envisioned wasn't an immediate reality. As he puts it, getting the product on the shelf was one challenge, but convincing people to actually purchase it was a different story altogether. The air was thick with uncertainty as the launch date loomed, and Doherty openly confessed, "We had no way of knowing whether it would succeed or not." Adding to the suspense, the supermarket had only placed a trial order. If Doherty's jelly didn't fly off the shelves, it could mean curtains for their collaboration. Fully aware of the Herculean task of meeting sales expectations set by a nationwide retail giant, Doherty braced himself for the challenge. Superjam, still a new kid on the block, faced an uphill battle in winning hearts. Yet, a stroke of luck shone upon him. Among his initial retail customers was a journalist who saw a fascinating story behind the brand, a young lad turning his grandma's jelly recipe into a nationwide sensation. It became a spellbinding rags to riches tale. After Doherty's jelly hit the store shelves, his face quickly became a headline sensation, gracing the pages of newspapers with titles like Teenage Jam Tycoon savoring the sweet taste of success and A Jam Pot of Gold. While some business owners might shy away from the spotlight, especially young and inexperienced ones, Doherty fully embraced it. He understood the power of a compelling brand narrative in setting his company apart from the competition and welcomed the attention. Riding the wave of newfound fame, Doherty actively courted the media, participating in numerous newspaper interviews, all while crafting a heroic brand image as the self-proclaimed Jam Boy. This dedication paid off with a publishing deal from Capstone Publishing, allowing him to pen a book chronicling his entrepreneurial journey and sharing his valuable business insights. As media coverage expanded, Doherty's sales saw a parallel surge. In a whirlwind turn of events, the young entrepreneur found himself moving tens of thousands of jars per week, resulting in a remarkable influx of revenue amounting to millions of dollars. Doherty is now a sought-after speaker at business conferences and universities, drawing eager crowds for his motivational speeches. The burning question he faces most often? How to stay motivated in tough times. In response, Doherty dishes out his own tales of facing setbacks, from a fox raiding his henhouse to a national retail buyer giving his product the cold shoulder. His golden nugget of advice? Tune into your customers, they hold the key to keeping that fire alive. In a candid BBC interview, Doherty spilled, "There were moments when I contemplated giving up. Yet, he soldiered on, crediting his resilience to customer feedback. Not every idea will hit the jackpot, and the first version might miss the mark. But, according to Doherty, taking the plunge, actively listening to your customers, tweaking as needed, and exploring new angles can lead you to a winning concept. Launching a business from scratch doesn't demand a groundbreaking idea. That's the first lesson to break free from mere wishful thinking and step into the realm of action, as illustrated by the author's journey from zero to millionaire. Unlike entrepreneurs drowning in information consumption, the author underscores the magic of taking action. Entrepreneurs often hesitate to implement ideas due to subconscious fears of failure or criticism. The key takeaway? The author hit millionaire status by pairing learning with action. Knowledge gained through action outshines degrees. So, step 1 in starting a business? Take action. Embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, don't linger in the entrepreneur zone. Now, the second crucial aspect, validation. Doherty's jam empire started in his grandmother's kitchen, where he gave samples to friends and family. Their positive vibes fueled his journey. To validate further, he hit local farmers markets and indie shops, directly gauging customer interest. The thumbs up from these early customers gave him the green light to scale up his jam business. Jack Ma, the maestro behind Alibaba, didn't just sit on ideas, he actively danced with user feedback, turning it into a symphony of product development. This dynamic process transformed Alibaba's services into a harmonious blend of relevance and value for customers. Now, let's talk about your ideas. Don't just dream, validate and take action. This keeps your mind agile, unlocking doors to diverse business approaches.